Good afternoon and welcome to Midday News on Rajya Sabha television. My name is Aishwarya Kapoor. Let us start the bulletin with the headlines. Vijay Rupani takes oath as Gujarat Chief Minister, Nitin Patel as his deputy for the second consecutive term. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Amit Shah among BJP leaders who attended the ceremony in Gandhinagar. Jairam Thakur to be sworn in as the new Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh tomorrow. Top JEM militant Noor Mohammad Tantre killed in an encounter in Jammu and Kashmir's Pulwama. Tantre was the mastermind of a suicide attack at a BSF camp near Srinagar airport earlier this year. Mother and wife of Kulbhushan JADHAV returned to Delhi after meeting him in Islamabad. Meet External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj at her residence. Foreign Secretary S. Jaishankar, External Affairs Ministry officials also present at the meet. After defeat in RK Nagar by-election, AIADMK expels 9 members from the TTV Dinakaran camp. Decision after AIADMK ruling factions emergency review meeting. CM Palanisamy and his deputy O Paneerselvam among those who attended this meet. And Russian President Vladimir Putin's critic Alexei Navalny barred from entering presidential race. Russian Election Commission cites a previous embezzlement conviction. Navalny to appeal Election Commission's decision. Our top story, Vijay Rupani on Tuesday took oath as the new Chief Minister of Gujarat at a grand ceremony in Gandhinagar. Now, Governor OCKHI administered the oath of office and secrecy to Vijay Rupani and Deputy Chief Minister Nitin Patel for their second consecutive term. Now, 19 ministers, including Bhupendra Singh Chutsama, Kaushik Patel, Saurabh Patel, Ganpat Bhai Vasawa were also sworn in. The ceremony was attended by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Party Chief Amit Shah, Home Minister Rajnath Singh, Union Minister Nitin Gadkari and Senior BJP leader L.K. Advani, along with the Chief Ministers from BJP-ruled states. Key BJP ally Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar also attended the swearing-in along with his deputy Sushil Kumar Modi. Rupani and Patel were elected respectively as the leader and the deputy leader of the BJP Legislature Party on 22nd of December after the BJP won Gujarat for the 6th consecutive time, winning 99 seats on the 182-member assembly. This is the second term for both Rupani and Patel.
વિજય કુમાર રમણીકલાલ રૂપાણી ઈશ્વરના નામે સોગંદ લઉં છું કે હું કાયદાથી સ્થાપિત ભારતના સંવિધાન પ્રત્યે સાચી શ્રદ્ધા અને નિષ્ઠા ધરાવીશ.
And earlier, Prime Minister Narendra Modi took part in a roadshow in Ahmedabad after landing at the airport en route to the Gandhinagar swearing-in venue. Modi stood on the floorboard of his car and he waved to hundreds of people who were lined up on the road as his convoy made its way from the airport to an open ground near the State Secretariat where the oath ceremony was held. Prime Minister Modi will have lunch with the new Council of Ministers and visiting dignitaries at Mahatma Mandir in the afternoon before leaving for Delhi. A cabinet meeting is also slated in the afternoon where the newly inducted ministers will be allocated portfolios. And this is the sixth consecutive time that BJP is forming government in Gujarat. All right, my colleague Kriti Mishra is now joining us live from newsroom. Kriti, now Vijay Rupani taking oath for the second consecutive term and he's a leader with a clean image. Of course, he was the front runner for the top post, but also there were some questions marks on him of being retained after the BJP won only 99 seats, which was 16 less than it had won last time.
Well, absolutely, Aishwarya. In fact, when I was in Gujarat covering elections, there was speculation about continuance of Vijay Rupani as the chief minister. And thereafter, of course, BJP recorded a slender victory over Congress. Now, Rupani, of course, secured a thumping victory in Rajkot West constituency over Congress heavyweight Indranil Rajguru. That was definitely one of the tipping point for him. Then, of course, as you know, Aishwarya, then Nitin Patel and Vijay Rupani together as a team have led Gujarat through 16 tumultuous months that were marked by Patidar agitation. There was Dalit uprising, then there was a combative Congress. But Vijay Rupani, who took over the reins of the party in July 2016 from Anandiben Patel when she resigned from the government. He's also known to be a very, very polite and an able administrator. He enjoys immaculate image. And most importantly, he's caste neutral. He also boasts of varied experience. He has been the mayor. He was sent to Rajya Sabha. He held various portfolios during Anandiben Patel's regime. So he was Minister for Transport, Labour, Employment. But this second stint of Vijay Rupani is certainly going to be different from the first one, because now he would be braving resurgent, combative, aggressive and numerically largest opposition in decades. But Vijay Rupani had earlier said that BJP's invincibility at the hustings, even 22 years of rule, that is the biggest achievement, and he has ensured Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. So it remains to be seen how his second innings progress. Over to you, Aishwarya.
Absolutely. And, you know, apart from Rupani and Nitin Patel taking oath, tell us about the other key cabinet ministers who have taken oath today.
Right, so around 19 ministers were sworn in today, and there were important names like Saurabh Patel, Bhupendra Singh and R.C. Faldu. Let me also take you through other important names. So there was Kumar Kanai. He is going to be the cabinet minister for the first time. Then Raman Patkar. He won the Unagram seat for the 5th time and is considered a big tribal leader. Then Vibha Vari Dave. She is the female face in the Vijay Rupani cabinet. Then also Ishwar Singh Patel. He is also the powerful face of the Koli community. So certainly the party has tried to strike a caste and regional balance, and we expect portfolios to be allocated very soon. Aishwarya?
Absolutely. And Kriti, you know, the Gujarat swearing-in ceremony also doubled as a massive show of strength by the BJP, because, you know, apart from Prime Minister Modi, Amit Shah and all the BJP chief ministers also present, ally Nitish Kumar also attended, and a similar ceremony is also slated for tomorrow in Himachal Pradesh.
Yes, as you said, and I reiterate, there was massive show of strength. There were around 18 NDA chief ministers. Of course, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, BJP Chief Amit Shah. We also expect similar scenes to replicate in Himachal Pradesh tomorrow. Aishwarya?
Thank you so much, Kriti, for all those updates there. And as Kriti was telling us that BJP leader Jairam Thakur will be sworn in as the new Chief Minister of Himachal Pradesh tomorrow. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi, BJP President Amit Shah and the Chief Ministers of many BJP-ruled states will attend this swearing-in ceremony tomorrow. The event will be held at the historic Ridge Ground in Shimla. And now Thakur, the 5-time MLA from Siraj in Mandi, was elected leader of the BJP Legislature Party on Sunday after the BJP ousted the Congress from power in the state, winning 44 out of the 68 seats in the assembly polls. Thakur emerged as a front-runner after CM candidate Prem Kumar Dhumal and state BJP chief Satpal Satti were defeated in the 9th of November elections. On to the other top story of the day. The mother and wife of Kulbhushan Jadhav met External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj at her residence in Delhi today. Foreign Secretary S. Jaishankar and MES spokesperson Ravish Kumar were also present at this meeting. The meeting comes a day after Jadhav's mother and wife met Kulbhushan Jadhav at the Pakistan Foreign Ministry office in Islamabad. Now, they spoke to Jadhav separated by a glass screen. Jadhav's mother and wife met Sushma Swaraj just a few hours after arriving in Delhi from Pakistan. And early in the morning, Kulbhushan Jadhav's mother and wife returned to India after meeting him at the Pakistan Foreign Affairs Ministry in Islamabad on Monday. This was Jadhav's first meeting since his arrest with his family. Now, Pakistan has portrayed this meeting as a humanitarian gesture, confirming that it does not constitute consular access. It also issued a new video of Jadhav thanking the Pakistan government for the meeting.
Kulbhushan Jadhav, the Indian prisoner lost in a Pakistani jail, met his wife and mother at Pakistan Foreign Affairs Ministry in Islamabad on Monday. It was the first meeting between Jadhav and his family since his arrest on March 3rd last year. The Pakistan Foreign Office also released pictures of Jadhav talking to his wife and mother, from behind a glass screen. The communication between them was through an intercom device. The two women reached Islamabad from Delhi amid tight security. India's Deputy High Commissioner J.P. Singh also accompanied the family for the meeting. Pakistan said this meeting was on humanitarian basis, categorically rejecting that it was any sort of consular access.
काउंसलर एक्सेस का मामला यकीनन हमारे पास है। पहले हम ये न दे सके, उसकी वजह यह है कि इसकी तफ्तीश इन्वेस्टिगेशंस चल रही थी, केस चल रहा था और वो मुकदमा वगैरह, और ये हमने मुलाकात करा दी। ये जो ह्यूमैनिटेरियन ग्राउंड्स पे है काउंसलर एक्सेस अकॉर्डिंगली फैसला हो जाएगा जब वक्त आएगा। तो ये मुलाकात काउंसलर एक्सेस नहीं थी जी, ये कैटेगोरिक पोजीशन है। ये मैं मुकम्मल कर लूँ जी प्लीज़। ये मुलाकात काउंसलर एक्सेस नहीं थी क्योंकि डिप्लोमेट को हमने पहले बता दिया था कि आप वहाँ मौजूद होंगे, प्रेजेंट होंगे, वो प्रेजेंट थे।
It's an emotional moment, irrespective of the merits of the case. Humanitarian basic norms require that such access should be given. After all, not only is he merely an accused at the moment, but he is being tried at the very high bar of the International Court of Justice.
JADHAV's friends expressed happiness and said the meeting that has come after a very long time should be considered as a moral victory for India.
एक तरह से ये मॉरल विक्ट्री है हमारी कि कहीं कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा था, अब जाके ये हुआ है, तो इससे बहुत सारी उम्मीदें बढ़ गई हैं कि अब आगे चल के भी बहुत सारी चीजें हमारे पक्ष में ही होंगी।
The Pakistan Foreign Ministry has also made it clear that there is no chance in the charges against Kulbhushan Jadhav. It also claims that Monday's meeting between Jadhav and his family will have no impact on the case against him in the International Court of Justice.
तक जी हमारा काउंटर मेमोरियल जिसको जवाबी बयानिया वो हमने 13 दिसंबर को उनको जमा करा दिया था, वो भी आईसीजे के पास है। मैं कैटेगोरिकली आपको फिर से कह दूं कि ये ह्यूमैनिटेरियन मुलाकात है, इसका कानून से कोई तो वो काउंसलर होती या कुछ और हो तो वो तो और बात होती। इसका हमने किसी मुकदमा जीतने के लिए ये मुलाकात नहीं कराई, ना इसका इम्पैक्ट आएगा।
Pakistan had on December 20th issued visa to Jadhav's wife and mother to visit Islamabad to meet him. The 47-year-old Indian naval officer is in Pakistani jail, facing death sentence on charges of espionage. Akhilesh Suman's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
In fact, Akhilesh Suman is now joining us for more updates on this story. Akhilesh, now Kulbhushan Jadhav's family has met External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj at her residence today. Any updates on what transpired in this meeting?
Okay, it's a meeting after their meeting with JADHAV in Islamabad. So it's it was very emotional meeting because you know that Sushma Swaraj also takes things in a very humanitarian manner. The way she grants visa to the people of Pakistan when they need it in the dire consequences, when there is nobody to help them even in Pakistan or elsewhere. So this type of grandeur has been being given by Sushma Swaraj, and she called Kulbhushan Jadhav's wife and mother at her residence in the morning to know that what is the condition of Kulbhushan Jadhav, because health was the biggest concern of India. First thing was that whether Kulbhushan Jadhav is alive or not. It was confirmed that yes, he is alive. Now the second question was that whether he is in proper mental condition or not. Yes. So they talked to Jadhav and they gave their own assessment that whether he is in a proper frame of mind or not. So these are the things. Some skepticism is there because Mr. Jadhav talked to the Kulbhushan Jadhav, his wife and mother in English, not in Marathi. Yes. So this raises some doubt that when you are meeting your family members, you should speak in your native local language that you talk in the family. Yes. But he was made to speak in English. I think it was because of Pakistani side wanted to record the statement what Kulbhushan Jadhav is talking to his family members. Yes. And this was the thing that it has to be reported to External Affairs Minister because the case is there in the ICJ, and in ICJ India has to put the memorandum again that how the case will be developed, because Pakistan is not ready to accept that Kulbhushan Jadhav is an innocent traitor of India who was working around that area.
Yes.
So this contention has to be made, and for this contention, Government of India through External Affairs Ministry wants to know that what are the things that Kulbhushan Jadhav shared with his family members, and on basis of that statement, how can India progress in the case at ICJ. And after meeting Sushma Swaraj,
Yes.
they were also taken to Jawaharlal Nehru Bhavan, the seat of the whole officials of External Affairs Ministry, and their statements were recorded there so that it can become a testimonial from the side, because they had visited for the first time after almost 22 months.
Yes.
So this meeting will help India in framing another caveat and another pointer in the case that is running in the ICJ. Aishwarya.
And now Pakistan has also indicated yesterday, that more such meetings of Jadhav, meeting his family are possible, and that it will give, in fact, it will consider giving consular access to Jadhav. So how do you look at these statements?
Yeah, actually, Pakistan External Foreign Affairs Ministry spokesperson, he gave some hint that there may be some more meetings.
Yes.
And if there are some more meetings, it may also include consular access, because you know that according to the international norms, and it's a norm of the earth. Not only the international, if any guilty is there in your jail and you have convicted them with a death sentence, you have to take their own plea. And since Kulbhushan Jadhav was not given factually good legal assistance, for the sake of saying they have put some legal assistance, but see, since he is an Indian national,
yes.
India has to consider the case according to from own Indian mind, and that is why for running the case in ICJ, Kulbhushan Jadhav has to be given consular access, and it is obligatory from the part of Pakistan, and Pakistan has to. Otherwise, this case will be null and void. It will be one-sided. If you are not giving any consular access to the person who is inside your jail, if you are not allowing him to get any legal assistance from the country of his origin, ICJ will tell that it is injustice, and on that basis, Pakistan will get defeated in the case. And that is why Pakistan is now coming to the terms of reality. So that is why they given first meeting with their family members. Now they are obliged to give the consular access according to the international norms. That is why the spokesperson was hinting towards this thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Akhilesh, for all those updates and a perspective on that story. Thank you so much. And in a major breakthrough, security forces killed Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorist Noor Mohammad Tantre in an encounter in Sambura area of Pulwama district of Jammu and Kashmir today. Now, acting on a tip-off, a crack team of Jammu and Kashmir police cordoned off a house where some JAM militants were believed to have been holed up. Now, Tantre was killed in the encounter. A search is on for other terrorists as well. Now, Tantre was out on a parole since 2015. He was the mastermind of a suicide attack at the Srinagar airport earlier this year. Now, hailing from the Tral area of South Kashmir, Tantre was the key man in reviving the JAM in South and Central Kashmir. More news from Jammu and Kashmir, and media reports on Tuesday quoted government sources saying that Indian Army soldiers crossed the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir's Rawalakot sector. Now, they killed at least 4 Pakistani personnel in the operation. The reports also stated that the cross-LOC raid were not being referred to as the surgical strikes. The operation was in retaliation to the death of 4 Indian soldiers in cross-border firing by Pakistani troops earlier this week. The government sources were reported to have said that at least 4 Pakistani soldiers died in Monday's cross-LOC operation. Indian troops penetrated 500 meters across the line of control, and the modus operandi used was an improvised explosive device ambush followed by gunfire. Indian soldiers first laid an ambush trap by setting up IEDs across the LOC. Then the Pakistani unit was hit with the light machine gun and assault rifle fire, resulting in at least 4 fatalities. The entire operation took around 45 minutes. More news from Jammu and Kashmir. Sent a special representative to the state, Dineshwar Sharma visited the border district of Kupwara as part of his 3rd visit to the state today. Sharma reached Kupwara district on Monday and met around 30 delegations at Kupwara Dak Bungalow, where he met regional leaders, locals and many youth groups in Kupwara. Among the first to meet Sharma was the family of cab driver Asif Iqbal Bhatt, who was allegedly killed in the crossfire between the security forces and militants earlier this month. The other delegations apprised Sharma about the problems faced by them during heightened tension along the line of control or during a cordon or a search operation by the security forces. Employment, lack of power supply and non-availability of food grains, especially during the winter months, were also discussed. Dineshwar Sharma is expected to meet people in Baramulla in North Kashmir today. Sharma, the former head of Intelligence Bureau, is on his third visit to the Kashmir Valley after being appointed as the centre's special representative for talks with various groups on Kashmir in October this year. News from the south of the country, and stung by the defeat in the RK Nagar by-polls at the hands of the rebel AIADMK leader TTV Dinakaran. Now, AIADMK has cracked the whip on 9 of Dinakaran's aides in the party. AIADMK on Monday expelled 9 senior leaders for supporting sideline leader TTV Dinakaran and warned of action against those who betrayed the party. The decision to sack the members was taken during a high-level meeting called by Tamil Nadu Chief Minister E. Palanisamy and O. Selvam to review the performance in the by-poll. The two have also accused TTV Dinakaran of a tacit understanding with the opposition DMK. Meanwhile, expelled AIADMK MP Sasikala Pushpa Dinakaran and congratulated him on the victory. Meanwhile, the main opposition party DMK has also formed a 3-member committee to identify the reasons for its failure in the recently held RK Nagar by-poll. The 3-member panel, constituted on the directions of a DMK working president M.K. Stalin, will submit its report before 31st of December. Meanwhile, a central team will visit Tamil Nadu and Kerala to assess the damage caused by cyclone OCKHI. In Tamil Nadu, an interministerial team from the centre will visit Kanyakumari district to review the damage caused by the cyclone. And in Kerala, the team will be led by Additional Secretary in Home Department Vipin Malik. It will visit various coastal areas and will also meet top state officials, and the team will submit a report based on the centre's assessment. Team members from disaster management will consider Kerala's request for a relief package of 7,340 crore rupees, which was submitted to the Prime Minister during his visit to the state last week. On to some other news. The Home Ministry has directed all NGOs, businesses, entities and individuals who receive funds from abroad to open accounts in any of the 32 designated banks within a month for a higher level of transparency. Now, according to the ministry order, the directive is for open foreign contribution accounts in banks which are integrated with the central government's public financial management system. And the ministry order said that the move would ensure a higher level of transparency in their foreign contribution receipts and hassle-free reporting compliance. The move is to ensure that such contributions or hospitality is not being utilized for activities that are detrimental to the national interest. The order, which was issued on 21st of December, said that the NGOs are directed to comply with the order within 1 month. Our top international focus now, and Russian officials have barred activist Alexei Navalny from entering the country's presidential race. And this comes a day after he held nomination gatherings to kick off his campaign. Now, Russia's Central Election Commission rejected Navalny's registration a day after he submitted it, citing a previous embezzlement conviction. Navalny has called for a boycott of the next year March election. He was the only candidate with the chance of challenging Russian President Vladimir Putin. But opposition leader Alexei Navalny has been barred from competing in next year's presidential election. The Central Electoral Commission has said that Navalny was ineligible because of a corruption conviction. Known for his anti-corruption campaign and protests against Putin, Navalny was given a 5-year sentence in a retrial earlier this year on embezzlement charges.
Инкриминировано Алексею Анатольевичу, относится к числу тяжких преступлений, лишающих лицо, совершившее это преступление, права баллотироваться на должность президента Российской Федерации.
Navalny says the Election Commission decision is politically motivated, with the case intending to block him from speaking the truth about the situation in Russia. He said he would launch an appeal in Russia's constitutional court. He also urged his supporters to boycott the March vote.
Если вы не планировали за меня голосовать и не поддерживаете меня, то, наверное, у вас все равно есть достоинство, и вы считаете, что сами можете определить, за кого вам голосовать. И все кандидаты должны быть зарегистрированы.
A staunch Kremlin critic, Navalny rose to prominence in Russian politics in 2008 when he started blogging about alleged corruption at some of Russia's large state-controlled corporations, using social media to reach out to predominantly young followers. Navalny was the driving force behind massive anti-Putin protests in 2011 and 2012, rallying tens of thousands of people across the country. In 2013, he was first sentenced on embezzlement charges. The European Court of Human Rights last year quashed the ruling. As a result, Russia's Supreme Court ordered a retrial, in which Navalny was given a 5-year suspended prison sentence and a fine. Navalny has maintained that the conviction was politically motivated.
Совершенно точно говорю, что решение Центральной избирательной комиссии, если такое состоится, о недопуске меня на выборы, исключит миллионы людей из этих выборов. Исключит миллионы людей вообще из политической системы, потому что не даст им возможность вообще...
Vladimir Putin has been either the Prime Minister or President of Russia since 1999. In March elections, Putin is seeking a 4th term that would see him become the longest-serving Russian leader since Joseph Stalin. Putin still retains a massive approval rating and is most certain to ease to victory in the March election. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And finally, on to sports news. And India has reached the 2nd spot in the ICC's latest 2020 international rankings. And the new ranking comes after India completed a 3-0 clean sweep over Sri Lanka on Sunday, moving up from their pre-series tally of 119 points to 121 after winning the series. Now, India crossed England, New Zealand and West Indies to move from the 5th position to the 2nd position, which Pakistan is topping with 124 points. In the ranking for batsmen, Indian openers Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul made substantial gains following their performances in the recently concluded series. Sharma's 162 runs in the series, which includes a knock of 118 in the second match in Indore, helped him move up 6 slots to reach the 14th position. And KL Rahul gained 23 slots to reach the 4th position. However, skipper Virat Kohli was pushed to the 3rd position, while Jasprit Bumrah slipped 2 spots down. Australian opener Aaron Finch and Pakistan left-arm spinner Imad Wasim are the top-ranked batsman and bowler in the rankings. And that's all in this edition of Midday News. Up ahead is Khabar Dopaher. Thanks for watching.